Hey guys, Bobby here today. Hey folks, today I'm going to show you real quick how we assemble one of our American flags, okay? So how we do it is we got all our pieces right over here, and we got a little section on our workbench here, and we've kind of got it set up like a little jig. So give me just a moment and I'll go ahead and organize all these stripes and everything in the order that they need to be in, and then we'll show you how we get this thing together. Stay tuned. Okay, hopefully you enjoyed that quick little time lapse, but here's what we got now. So we got everything lined up, and I have all these stripes actually numbered, and the biggest reason is because I want the bottom one, I've actually burnt it to where it actually looks different than all the other edges, and the top edge as well. So we definitely want 1 and 13 where they need to be, but everything else is kind of hand picked to be in the right position as well. So what we have to do, we have like a little board up against our wall here that helps us to just have something to push up against. But before we get going, we actually have to rotate all this stuff, okay? So here's what we have to do. And so I'm going to move these over, okay? And your stars, you definitely want the points of your stars facing upward, okay? So we're going to flip this. We're just going to reflect this whole flag, okay? And I get in the habit of doing each one of my stripes the same way as well. I don't just flip them, I flip them this way instead of the other way. And because some of our flags have the Pledge of Allegiance written right on the stripe, and we have to make sure that they get flipped around this way, or the words would be upside down. So I just got in the habit of doing all my flags this way here. So we'll just flip everything over, and then we're good to go once we start assembling it, okay? And it only takes a minute to do this. Alrighty. So now we're ready to start squaring it up. Okay, now with everything flipped over and inverted, we want to go ahead and start squaring this thing up. So we just got everything kind of pushed up against the back wall. And we got this one stick over here. And what I want to do is just go ahead and square it up on the union, okay? I want the union to be, if the union's not square, you know, the whole thing's going to be off anyway, okay? So I don't worry about getting an additional square on the project. I'm just going to square this one corner right here. I'm going to make sure all my short stripes are pushed up against the flag, and then make sure all my long stripes are pushed up against this board, okay? And that right there is as good as it gets, okay? And that's going to, and everything should be square, and we haven't had any problems with it, you know, doing it this way, okay? So we should be good to go. Now, a couple other things that I do. We have our, this flag, I actually have a couple here that are thinner, so I'm going to put them in the middle. I'll actually put this one right in this area right in here. And these two here are going to go on the ends. I usually just try to pick the better side, what looks the nicest. Actually, maybe I like that side better, okay? And this one here, I think this side looks better. Okay, so there we go. Now we have 4 boards that we're going to have here. And let me go get my pencil, so stay tuned for 1 minute. Okay, just checking real quick, see if we're somewhat close to being squared up. I have these 2 little pieces of wood, and I will put one here and one right here. And then I'm going to bring my this brace up against here and draw me a line down through here, okay? And this helps me lay this back in place when I'm ready to glue it back in place. So let's go over here to the other side and do the same thing over here on the end. And I'm just going to have to hold it up there nice and square. And I do this here the same way. Hold it up there and draw myself a line right down through here. Okay, so there we go. Now I have this other little jig here that I put in between this one and this one, okay? Now this time I will actually use a square and just kind of square this one up a little bit. make sure it's looking pretty good down through here. And I'll move it out of the way. And oh, I didn't quite get my back one there, did I? Okay. And I will draw myself a line here. And I'll use my little jig right over here as well. This one here should still be in the same position that it was. I'll double check it. And it is, okay. And notice that we are splitting the difference between the union and the stripes right here, okay? And that right there is my main objective. So we got that in place. I can temporarily move this one out of place and put my square up here, okay? And move that over if I need to. Move that out of the way. And I'll just draw me a line here. And guys, this just helps me to put these back in place where I need them to go when I get ready to glue everything up. So now, let's go get the nail gun, let's get it plugged in, get it ready to go, and get our glue, and I'll show you how we get this thing glued up. All right, now for the fun part. Okay, we're ready to go. We got our nail gun, we got our glue here, got a brand new container of glue. Let's make sure that it don't have anything to keep it from coming out, and it does not, so we're good to go. All right, now, so we are going to go ahead and start in this corner right over here. And these little pieces are just paint sticks. These actually go in between the strut and that backboard. And the reason I do that, it keeps it spaced off the top just a little bit, puts it exactly where I want it to be. So we'll put one of these here for each one, okay? And so that's just what I do. It helps to bring it down just right off the top a little bit. So now let's go and push everything up. Let's make sure this union is up against here. Make sure all these stripes are up against this union. And we're holding this piece over here. And while we're doing that, we are making sure that these longer stripes are right up against here. Very important, okay? We'll make sure all of them are right up against there. Okay, now we're going to take our brace off of here. I'm going to go and flip it over. We're going to glue this side. And let's go ahead and get our glue in place, okay? And this is what I do. I just go ahead and put a coat on about like this right here. That's about all I do is that right there, okay? Now I will come over here on each stripe, right here in the middle. I will hit a little glue on each one of them. And on the union, I'll just go ahead and just put one right in the middle, right up through the top right there. Okay? Now, that's about all I do. So let's go ahead and put this in place. Shove it right up against there. I got my pencil line to go by right there. And the first, one more time, I'm just gonna make sure I'm shoved up against here nice, okay? Make sure all my stripes are good. Okay, now, and I've got my board right up here where I want it. So let me grab that gun right quick. And I'm gonna put 2 nails right up here at the top, okay? So now I've got that exactly where I want that. Right down here, I'm gonna go ahead and grab my other little spacer. Put it right here, keeps that nice and squared up. One more time. This is the most important time because this is what's gonna keep everything square. That may seem like I'm taking a little extra time here, and I probably am. Make sure all these stripes are up against here good, okay? And then we're going to push up, okay? We're going to grab and push up. We'll take all the gap in between these stripes, and then we're going to nail this right at the bottom. Nail the bottom stripe, just like so. Now we can go ahead and put a few in the union here. And I will go ahead and about every 2 inches or so on the union there, I'll put a nail, and then in each stripe I will put 2 nails, okay? All right, so this is nailed off good. We're squared up. I'm not worried about the squareness of it anymore. Biggest thing now will be worrying, just make sure everything's pushed up nice and tight as we continue on. Okay, so we can go ahead and go right over here on this side now and glue this one down. And on each one of these stripes as well, put a little line of glue right in the middle. Just like so. Okay. Now we will go ahead and put our little piece of shim up here. We're going to flip this over. Lay our support bracket back here in place. Now, right up here in the corner, I'm going to push up. I'm going to go ahead and get a nail right up here on the top stripe. We also want to make sure we're still pushed over good. Our last time to make sure these are pushed over good. Make sure they're right up against the union all the way down, and they are. Just go ahead and nail the top. 2 nails in the top stripe. Now, down through here, we want to go ahead and push all these stripes up good and tight. And then the bottom one here, 2 nails. Okay. Now in each one, 2 nails. Alright, there we go. Make sure we still got nails in here. We do. Alright, so guys, and if you got anything oozing out, now if you want to, you can take your finger and just slightly wipe that. I'm going to get my rag here to wipe my finger off. And we'll do that right quick. And we should be pretty good to go. Might have a little bit oozing out right here. Okay. Alrighty. So now, time to do these 2 center braces, okay? So stay tuned and we'll get them done. All right, guys, hey, we're done here. We can go ahead and pick this thing up now, and we will go find another place to actually lay it flat for it to cure out for a few hours before we do anything to it. So guys, there's one of our American flags, okay, that we have for sale in person in Mint Hill, North Carolina at the Home Styles. We'll put a link down below with the address, or you can find these on our Etsy store, the Mint Hillbilly Shop, and we will actually put a link down below for that as well. Thanks for stopping by. Have a great day. We'll see you next time. Take care.